in One CNC West, and what I thought I'd do is put together another quick One CNC XR7 video for you. Now this has to do with CAD, and it's probably something you've seen in the past where you've loaded a CAD file that was provided to you by another customer, or possibly it's geometry that was created in a different CAD system. Well, anyway, you load the CAD file up and you start to work on it, and instantly you realize that it has duplicate entities or overlapping entities, which I call dirty geometry. And depending on how bad the part file is, how many duplicate overlapping pieces of geometry you have, it can take a long time to fix that. So One CNC XR7's come up with, I think, a very unique and clever way to handle that, and it's called Smart Selection. So let's free up some CAD space here. I'm going to collapse that right toolbar. Let's head up here to Open, and on my desktop I have a DXF file called SpinLock. So let's double click on that. So this is typical, right? You load the file up, it looks great, and you want to instantly start applying toolpath to it, or geometry tasks or anything like that. In this example, let's say we look at this and we think, you know what, I want to create a quick solid model out of this. So we'll head over here to Extrude. We'll go into a simple Extrude Curve command, and I'm going to left click. And as soon as I left click and the geometry stops, I know that I have an extra piece of geometry. In fact, in that case, it's overlapping. If I try it again, let's come over here and left click. Again, the geometry stops. So I know I have either duplicate geometry, I have overlapping geometry, or possibly it just needs to be trimmed. So in the past, there were different ways to try to fix this. I mean, we used to go into the chain command and you just click an arrow and hit F3, and if the geometry stopped, you would know that you had duplicate geometry. And so then you might hit the delete key on the keyboard, and if you had something left over, like here we have that little line there and that line there, we know we have overlapping geometry. So depending on the amount of extra geometry you have, techniques like that could take quite a while to figure out exactly what was wrong. But XR7's come up with a great new approach to handle this. So let me demonstrate. It's called Smart Selection. Now Smart Selection is currently located in the lower left hand corner. I'm going to left click there, and here's the Smart Selection dialog box. Now this has to do with selecting geometry, and you can select geometry by property, solid, dash, centerline, phantom, by width, by location in Z, by its length, by the arc diameter, by its type, whether it's a solid or a point or an arc, by connections, whether the geometry is connected at both ends or connected at one end, or possibly the geometry intersects with other geometry, or possibly there's no connections at all. But what I find really interesting are these two options up here under current selection. I'm going to activate this just by left clicking, and now if I click duplicate entities, One CNC instantly picks up all the duplicate geometry there. Now we're only seeing 4 or 5, maybe 6 different geometry pieces, but there could be 3 arcs here, there could be 2 lines here, maybe 3 here, maybe another 2 arcs there, and so on. But it's picked up all the duplicate geometry. Now let's go to overlapping entities. I'm going to select that, and now One CNC is showing me this fragmented geometry. It's showing me the overlapping geometry as well, and it does a really quick, nice job of selecting all of that. So all I have to do now is just click the close button, and you can modify the geometry, you can delete it, you can really do anything you want with it. I think the straightforward approach would be just hit the delete key on the keyboard, and now we have clean geometry. That's it. I mean, just a matter of a couple of keystrokes, we were able to identify the duplicates, the overlapping geometry, and now we're confident in knowing that if we go into a command like Extrude Curves, we can hop right in and get to work because it's been cleaned up. All right, so that's a brand new feature within One CNC XR7. I think it's really a neat and a unique approach for selecting geometry, and it sure helps out when we're dealing with CAD files that have extra pieces of geometry that we want to clean up. Okay, hey, thanks so much for watching, and as always, if we can answer any questions or be of assistance, please contact. All right, thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.